everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Lavenderclothesline, and as you can tell, I am driving once again, so I won't be looking at the camera, but I am in Mellissa and Barry's car. I am down in Florida, so today I am just heading up north. I have a dental appointment, and I figured I'd throw in some thrifting along the way. So today's video will be a little bit different. I actually have color cards, and I'm going to play a little game to see what color items I can find on the shelves that correlate to the cards that I have. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let's see what we can find in a certain colorway. Here's a thrifting tip that I thought I'd share today. It is called the color game. You bring in pre-chosen colors, either on cards or whatever you have in that color, and you try to find that item in the thrift store on the shelves. This can strengthen your skills in being able to find items on the shelf. I am always trying to figure out ways how I can get in and out of a thrift store really quick and spot the most high profit items. So when you train your eye with this game, you're going to be surprised the next few times you go into a thrift store that you're able to really zone in and find what you're looking for. All right, let's get started. Let's see if we can match our color cards and find items on the shelf in that color. Now, the rest of this video, we will be doing normal thrifting, but I thought I would show this to you. So right away, I have this marigold yellow colored card. Now, it's very rare I go into a store and try to find something in a specific color, but I am always looking to spot the item on the shelf that will bring the highest dollar. So here I'm noticing this peach card is in this colorway. It makes my mind remember what I'm looking for. When I go sourcing or thrifting, I also read a shelf. So most Goodwills or other thrift stores, their shelves are multiple tiers or multiple layers. I will look at a certain section of shelving and read it left to right like you would read a book. That way, your eye is not jumping all over the place. It really helps you hone in on looking for specific items. So once in a while, I will play this color game. There are other mind games I do play in a thrift store. I know this sounds crazy and intense, but my thrifting has really become very honed in and very developed after all of these years. I didn't learn to play these few little games in the very beginning, but we are stopping for a bag of fruit. You guys know I love realistic fruit. I thought this bag was really good. It did have a couple of my color cards, and it was $7.99, a little high. I would like to see this fruit at about $4. I've never seen mangoes before, so that was a fun find. Now, even though the mango did have that color yellow in it, I still continue to look and compare colors. So between the two, I feel like I've found it, and I have also found my orange. And I am on to the blue card. So this is a fun game. It's good to include kids. If you have children in your life that come thrifting with you, it keeps them busy. And like I said, it really hones your skills. So often I will pre-choose a brand name and look for it. Giving my mind something to really look for helps me stay focused because I do run into a lot of friends in the thrift store. Here I'm finding the blue. Now sometimes this game takes a while, and sometimes you will find the colors very quickly. So I not only play the color game, I look for specific brands, whether I'm planning on buying that or not. I read quote-unquote shelves left to right so that my eye does not miss anything, because sometimes when you go into a thrift store, the shelves are quite messy and it's kind of hard to really concentrate on what you're looking at. Your eye can become fixed on one specific item and you miss things. And you see that with us YouTubers all the time. You guys will call out to us in the comment section, hey, you missed such and such. I don't want to miss a thing. I want my time in thrift stores to be really well spent. Here I'm zoning in on this dream catcher. Phenomenal. $4.99, good buy-in price. This whole thing is handmade, well done, gorgeous. And this trip, unfortunately, I didn't feel like I was going to pack a box to put on the plane to bring home with me or send home via pirate ship or one of the other services. But I did want to come into the store to encourage you guys that live in Florida or try to source in Florida. Here's our purple. That there are stores in Florida that are very overpriced compared to a lot of other states, but you can definitely find items to flip for a profit. And I am living proof. I have sourced in Florida a lot. Most times I'm choosing stores that are more mom and pop rather than Goodwill or Savers. And here's our purple again. Okay, now that we've completed our color game, here is an Apple toner cartridge. I'm sure you guys, when you see this, are like, wow, toner cartridge, those bring money. And this is Apple. You would think this brings very good money. And it retailed for over $99. But when you comp this, these only bring between $8 and $20, I'm going to say. So I definitely leave that behind because it is an oversized box. Let's get to real thrifting now and see what this store, this is a Goodwill on Manatee Avenue, has, and see if we can see anything of especially good profit capability. Now, if I found something that would bring me hundreds of dollars, I would absolutely buy it and either stuff it in my suitcase, B, buy a second suitcase, or C, put it in a box and ship it home. Here I'm looking at some Mikasa dishes. At this point in life, pretty much I'm just looking at dishes for the fun of it. I've almost exclusively stopped buying dishes. Almost. There's always that one thing that will change your mind. I did like this pattern, very heavy, Pier 1 imports. Pier 1 can bring some money. Now, not especially high, but you can make good profit. I loved these bowls. Canterbury potteries. Beautiful. I would have picked those up if I was home. Again, these are signed. They are an art piece. Somebody made these. Does look like a professional pottery house. I don't know why I call it a professional pottery house. I always call it a pottery house. I scooted down the aisle to artwork and I found this print. Now, this is probably highly mass produced. It did have a signature. I believe this whole thing was, just printed. This was probably sold in maybe a Target or something like that. $3.99. You can see the cardboard in the back that was backing the print. That was not a sign of whether this print was an original or not. And who is that? Is that Gizmo? I don't even know what that character is. I should know this. And now on this shelf above the men's clothing, $3.99, I am spotting a doll from very far away. Look at the expression in this doll's eyes. As many of you have heard, when you look at a doll, I always say you look at the expression in the eyes. Most dolls are very starry-eyed. They have no life. But when you look at this doll, you see what I'm talking about? Beautiful doll. And I didn't know what brand this was. I just knew by the way her expression was that this was something of better quality. And here I am showing she has a little friend looking at the bottom of her shoe. Again, look at the eyes. So I hope you can tell what I'm talking about. This is another hint. If you're finding a lot of dolls in your thrift store and they have this very realistic human face, you want to run a comp on it. So I bring this first doll down with the pink dress and I look at her tags, and this is Adora. This is a weighted doll, which means that inside her body she has some kind of weighted material. Sometimes it is like a heavy, I'm going to call it packing fill, or some kind of weighted beans or stones. I don't know what to call that. And it causes the doll to have a very realistic human weight to it. Here I'm trying to get her to sit up. Sit up, baby. How sweet is she? And her little friend. These dolls, I'm going to insert some comps here, will bring I'm going to say $50 to $70, if not more. So you want to look for Adora weighted dolls. Okay, so on to this thrift store. This is MMF Thrift Shop, again on Manatee Island. This is just a little ways down from the Goodwill we were just in. And how can you pass a thrift store? So let's go inside. Let's see what items I would purchase if I was shipping home. But so far, I have decided not to buy anything and kind of give myself a break this shopping trip. But I still go into thrift stores even if I have no big plan to buy something, because if I found a piece of clothing that would bring, hundreds of dollars, I would absolutely figure out how to fit it into my suitcase. All right, so let's go up and down the aisles together, and I will point out what items I would buy if I was thrifting. Now, this is a wonderful store, and look at the welcome for me. Lavender, 50 cents each. Any lavender tags. They didn't really know I was coming, but kind of made me feel welcome. I know a lot of you really like looking at the china sets, the dishes, and quite a few of you collect patterns and you also sell them. Here I'm stopping to look at a $14 sticker on an alabaster pedestal bowl. I have picked those up, and a lot of times they're from Italy, but again, way too heavy to put in my suitcase. So as you can see, no shortage of china or dishes in this store. I thought this teapot was very pretty, but see the overage of blue paint? That's a sure sign that this was not done in a quality factory. I do spot these plastic doodads. I'm not even sure what these are. $19.99. I did like the design. I would have liked to have seen them made in some kind of jade or alabaster. That would have been pretty. The green swan catches my attention. Again, if I was home, $3, really good price. So you can be in Florida and find items that are really good buy-in price. I thought she was just lovely. Not sure who the maker was on that, but I definitely would have picked that up. I find a lot of these plaster casted faces that you hang on the wall. I don't know how this originated. I don't know who would want to hang these men on their wall. Not something I would pick up. This statue or figurine was quite heavy. That's a pretty popular one. I really liked this dish. Now this was just Gottinger and Company. Not really a high dollar, but I would have picked that up solely on the pattern. People love that lattice or trellis or Moroccan tile print. Those are the 3 words I use for a tray like that. Now, some of you might be asking, why would Karen go into the store and take this time when she's not planning on buying? But number one, I really want to keep making videos for you guys. And I think sometimes sharing our thinking, sharing our buying practices and other things are really helpful tips for other people maybe starting out, or just to broaden our search of what we look for. I am learning all the time. I am not even sure what this item is, the hangries. That was a little scary. I also wanted to thank you guys for your well wishes. My allergies are getting a little better. As soon as they stop plowing the fields, we'll be back to normal. So thank you, everybody. I have fully tested negative for COVID, and I've had my vaccination. Okay, salt. I liked that piece of pottery. I would have picked that up if I was home. Is this a handmade piece or a hand-painted, most likely? The piece is probably cast and then somebody is painting it. And here is a wood mug. I would have liked it better if it was a tiki face, totem pole, something from Bora Bora, but it is not. This is from the Bahamas, souvenir, and a little bit in rough shape. I would have left that one behind. So again, this is MMF on Manatee Road. I believe this little owl dispenser was maybe for sugar packets or Sweet and Low. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. Maybe a tissue box, but it was kind of small for a tissue box. And we are on to looking in the sporting goods corner. Golf clubs. Here's a Callaway. Golf clubs, I have to comp pretty much every one. If I find a Nike driver, Titleist, those are pretty much no. But anything else, I comp every single golf club. $85 for the set. And I find a lot more golf clubs in the Florida thrift stores than I do here in Pennsylvania, even though golf is a very popular sport here. And somehow it always turns into looking at men's shoes. I wouldn't mind having a whole separate store for men's leather shoes. Tommy Bahama loafers, $4. That was a really good price. A little Doc Martens balsam and these things would be spiffy. But I decide to leave them behind. So spoiler alert, I do not buy anything on these trips, but I'm always honing my skills and always glad to show you what I'm picking up. I always say I share 99% of what I'm doing. There's very little I won't share with you guys. I love just helping anybody out who is just starting out or just learning to broaden their horizons in what niches they sell in. So now we're just going to do a little peek at clothing. Escabada. Love this colorway. $5. Definitely would have bought that. So I want to encourage you guys again, if you're planning on traveling to Florida or if you live in Florida, my best tip is find the thrift stores that are not associated with a big chain. Start there by going to the churchyard sales and thrift stores, and I'm going to say the charitable associated thrift stores, if that's even a term. So here is one last little glance at the hard goods. Just going to work my way up towards the front. This store is a great store. Definitely worth a pop in. I have filmed here before, and I have bought quite a bit in this store. They do have a great jewelry counter up front, and the employees are the best, the sweetest, the most helpful employees ever. Okay guys, so that is the video for today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I encourage you to try different tips and learn how to hone your skills in looking on the shelves, because as a single reseller, time is my biggest resource and my biggest challenge. So I'm always looking to spend the time that I spend in thrift stores, estate sales, yard sales, auction houses, really zeroing in on what I want to buy and finding that treasure. Thanks so much for watching. Love you guys. Go out and get what's yours.